All right, good evening. My name is Adhesion, and today I'm going to making a presentation on Ultimaker Cura, the world most used open source slicing software. When I say open source, what do I mean? I mean that the Ultimaker Cura can be used for slicing of models, either it's an Ultimaker printer or not. So a lot of other printers can be used on Ultimaker Cura. So take for example, we have tabs at the upper part of Ultimaker Cura. It's already opened on my screen. So this is the interface. This is what you see when you open an Ultimaker Cura. So I'm using an Ultimaker S3. That's why I have Ultimaker S3 here. But if I'm using another printer, take for instance a Creality 3, a Creality Ender 3, I'll come here, I'll say add printer. So it says no printer. Then I'll say add a non-network printer this way. So here I have all the printers under Ultimaker. I will just scroll down. You can see different names of manufacturers. I'll scroll down to Creality 3D. There we have it. I will click. Then there I have options. I will click on Creality Ender 3 and I will just say add. All right. But since my customized printer is S5, S3, I don't need to do that about this time. So once that is done, all the settings that you have on your Ultimaker Cura will be that is customizable to Ender 3 of Creality. Here I have Ultimaker PLA Red and Ultimaker Neutral PVA. This is talking about the probes because the Ultimaker S3 is a dual probe machine. So you can have for probe 1 and probe 2. Okay, so this probe is going to tell you if it's enabled, meaning if you can use it to print. It will give you the material that you can print from it, and it will also tell you the print core. So I'll click on the material. Here I have generic, I have Ultimaker material. I'll just say generic PLA. So you will see it will show generic PLA and the print core is AA04, which tells us about the size of the print core. Here also we have the print core 2, where we have the material that can print from it. So this can be anything depending on the material you want to print. But in this case, for this session, I will say disabled. So the only thing I have is the PLA, which will be enabled for this printing. So that is for the print core. All right. Then here I have different form of settings. Okay. So I have settings for the printing. So here I have the print setting where you can use different profile for your printing. You have the default, you have the visual, you have the engineering, and you have the draft. So all these will determine how your prototype or your build will come per time as you print using the Ultimaker Cura. All right, so visual will tell you about If you are looking for aesthetics, just something beautiful on the outside, then you can use either of these. Okay, both are a regulation of the print quality and the print speed. The faster the speed, the lesser the quality. If you want to print functional parts, you can use this. This has to do with engineering. Maybe you want to do a gear system that is a functional part or an end use part. Okay, maybe for a machinery, one part from your machinery, you use this print profile. Then we have what we call the draft. This is used for prototyping in maybe a laboratory or a school environment, all right, where you want to build a prototype, then you can use the draft. All right. Next, we have the infill. Infill is the pattern of deposition of your filament, your hot filament. Okay. And you have infill from 0 to 100. 100 is more like a solid, a block. Then as you reduce, go, you see, as I'm reducing, watch this space, you see 80, 60, 40, 20. All right, you can see that there are changes. Okay, so infill is just to tell you the spaces between the lattices of your build. All right, so that is what this is for. Then support is maybe if you want to create what we call an overhang, something like a bridge. You can't do a molten bridge. You have to build a support, and this is applicable to when you use a dual print probe or a dual print core. So if you have a monoprint core, this will not be applicable. The adhesion means how your printing will stuck or will stick to the print build plate. All right. So it's good for you to have a good adhesion so that by the time you start printing, you don't have wobbling on your print. So that is what this is for. Then here you have customize. You can customize all the property of your printers from quality to walls to top to infills to material, the filaments to print speed to travel. Okay, the distance that your print core will go to cooling fan. I see the cooling to support, to build plate adhesion, and to dual extrusion. So if I click on support, for example, you will see generate support, and that will tell you what that can do. Say generate structures to support part of the model which have overhangs. Without this structure, such parts will collapse during printing. All right, so that is for support. Then you have support placement. This also has its description. Then support overhang angle. This also is put in place. All right, so that is for the print setting, and you have both for print core 1 and print core 2 depending on the one you're using. All right, then let me load a model, an STL file, for example. So I come here and I load this. I say open. So there I have it. All right, so this is a buckle, a school buckle. All right, so if I click on my model, there are a lot of things I can do on my model using these icons by my far left. So I can move this model using Cartesian geometry along X, along Y, or along Z. So take for instance, all is 0, but if I come here and I say 50 millimeter, you will see that my model moves. If I come here again, Y, and I say 50, it moves. All right. If I go to Z and I say 50, it won't go up because it's unrealistic. You can't have something in the air, isn't it? So let's try a minus. Let me say -5. So you can see that it can go a little bit into the print core and the print bed, meaning that during my printing, just half of what I have here is going to print. Okay, that is for our first item, which is move. Then we have scaling. Okay, so let me move this back to 0. So 0, 0. So we're back at the middle. When I come to the second one, I say scaling. So you can make your design bigger or smaller using the Cura software. So this is 100. So if I say 300, can you see? So this becomes bigger. All right. And if I say 50, it becomes smaller. What if I say 500? So you can see that the color changed from pure yellow to a stripe. This stripe means that this is bigger than the print volume. So this print cannot be done with this dimension. So what I need to do is to reduce it. I just say 100 and enter, and there you have it. That is for scaling. Then you can either have uniform scaling or snap scaling. All right. So uniform scaling is when if I put 100 here, the remaining directions along Y and Z also change uniformly. But if I uncheck it, it will just increase this in one, just in one side. Can you see? So just along my X will be reduced. Okay, so that is how that works. So back to 100, I put it back to uniform scaling. Then this is rotate. Our next button here is rotate. So if I want to rotate, I can rotate, can actually rotate. All right. So take for instance, I might just want to print one part and leave this other part out. So I can rotate it and I can come back to move. So now I'm moving along Z -5. I need more -10. All right. So I keep moving. Let me see -40. Okay, that's too much. -35. So there you have it. All right. So I can just print only this at this point in time. So that is how to use. So if I zoom in, you can see that there I have only the inner lock. So I can say -30, and there I have it. So I can go ahead and do my printing right now. But since I don't plan to print only one side, I'll just put this back to 0 and I go back to my rotate, and along the Z, I rotate it back to 90 and it drops. All right, then we have mirror. You can mirror along either side. So you can see as I'm pressing all these angles, the shapes are changing. It's mirroring what you have. Okay, so that is how mirror works. It will just give you a contrast view to the already existing view that you have on ground. Then per model setting. So this can be used to print with support, modify support for overlaps. This can be used to edit a particular design that you must have had. All right, that is what the meshing is for. Then we have the support. All right, we have the support blocker. So if I don't want to have a support, then I can click on this. Okay, and this lastly, this is telling me the print core that is currently in use. I'm using my print core 1. So that's what I have here. You can see that print code 2 is disabled. So once that is done, the next thing I want to do right now is to now slice. What does slicing means? So slicing simply means that I want to bring out this model in a format that your 3D printer will be able to read it and reproduce. All right. So once you've done all your editing, the next thing you have to do right now is to slice. And how do we slice? I'll just come here to this button when I've done all my editing and I click slice. So it's taking some time to slice, converting it into a format that would be readable by the printer, and normally it's what we call the G code. All right, the G code. So now it's telling me three important things. One is the timing. So it's saying this print is going to take 2 hours 5 minutes to reproduce based on this configuration I've set. Then it's going to use 5 grams of my filament, and in terms of length, the length of the filament that will be used is 1.11 meter to achieve this print. So this also helps us in cost analysis, so that when we want to set out on a print, we can estimate the filament to be used, the spread out length, and also the time it will take to reproduce the prototype. So once you have this, you can save to disk. But let me just quickly show you another cool feature, which is the preview. So once I click on the preview, once I click on the preview, it will show me how this print will look like while printing. And I have the play button. You can play. So it's going to show you how the print will start. So here you have the print call. If you look carefully, you see it. All right. And it will be depositing filament. So that's how it will continue. All right. Till the very end. Okay. And also on the right here, you have a button that will show you how this will look right from the scratch till when you have the finished build. All right. So those are the major features of the Ultimaker Cura and how you can slice a print that you have designed to a format that will be acceptable by the 3D printer. Thank you for watching, and ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, AIGE Limited, on YouTube for more technical videos as this. Thank you.